The big shimmer bubble.
Shimmer bubble.
Shimmer bubble.
Shimmer
Let's
bubble.
go in the shimmer bubble.
It looked like a bath bubble.
What is up, Flick fans? Guess what we saw?
Annihilation! So we just watched Alex Garland's brand new film, Annihilation, the director of Ex Machina, a movie that I loved, a movie that she loved. This film has a great cast, a great star in Natalie Portman, and I was very excited to see this, especially after the first few teasers and trailers we got.
So let's get right into this review. If you don't know anything about these videos, we're gonna tell you the good, the bad, and then give you our scores. I'm gonna start off by saying this film had me so uneasy the entire time. I was gripping onto Austin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Without giving any spoilers away, there's some very grotesque images in this movie. It is definitely on the edge of sci-fi horror. Now, I do believe they marketed it more as a horror film than it actually is, but like you said, there are some scary things in here. Some of the scariest things that I have seen in a movie in months.
I wouldn't even use the word scary, I guess. It's more just like...
uneasy. The practical effects and the CGI, both of them in this movie, they are used so well. They look so good. Everything that's on screen. There are one or two moments, I'll save it for the bad, but really the film as a whole worked on a visual level. I mean, it's beautiful. You've got the sunlight coming in, the shimmer, which is what it's called. It's in the trailer, not a spoiler. It's just a beautiful movie to look at. The color correction and the framing, that's something that I really found that I loved about Annihilation. Everything is framed in such an interesting way, and I think in a way that gives away details about maybe what may or may not happen in the future.
And before you steal this good from me, I'm gonna mention it. The music. The music for me tied everything together. You couldn't have had this film without the music that they chose. It was cool. You have to see this in theaters because you have to have that bass and that sound.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's so weird because you have, of course, the techno sci-fi music in there that you hear in the trailer, but then you have these guitar strums and like
regular music.
Yeah, you don't expect it to be how it is when you're watching the film, but then you're looking back on it and you're like, wow, that fit really well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not the music. The score.
Oh, the score.
Yes.
The soundtrack and the score. And this is a female-driven movie, and I love that. Everybody works so well together on screen. Maybe not every line of dialogue works, but as a whole, it gets you towards the end of the movie, and you know you're pushing to those major moments at the end, and I think that works super well. But the real star of this movie, in my opinion, is Alex Garland. The guy just knows how to write. He knows how to direct. This movie is brilliant. And I know it's based off of something that's prior, but the way that he transitioned that from the books to the big screen, it's so creative, and I'm so glad we're getting good sci-fi movies.
I can't decide if this is a good or a bad, but the character development, there was an interesting way that they just kind of put it out there, and I can't decide if I like that or if I would have preferred...
I mean, it's in the good, so I mean, I guess you like it.
I don't know.
I mean, it's in the good. So here's my overview of the good, right? The first 2/3 of this movie, it's your classic sci-fi, but I think it's done in such an interesting way. Yeah, sure, it's slow in parts, but it does a wonderful job of setup. Then you have the last third of the film, or even the last couple of scenes. A lot of people aren't responding to this. For me, I think it works, maybe more than I thought it would, because I was hearing some things from some critics, but really after just sitting and kind of analyzing for a few minutes after the movie was over, and listen, this is a movie I'm going to have to sit and think about. My score is not set in stone. It's going either up or down or staying the same, because this is one of those movies, you can't watch it just mindlessly, oh, it's a Transformers movie, I can just turn my brain off and watch this film. No, you have to pay attention because there are so many subtle things that happen. The end worked for me. It's not going to work for everyone. Yes, I just look at her face and there are some things that happen on screen that are just very grotesque and creepy and just weird, okay? Flat out weird, but I thought it worked because the entire setup of the movie was telling you that this was the case. Then you get to the end and you see that case play out on screen without being specific. This is one of those movies you kind of have to talk about when it comes to spoilers, but I know you can't. See, movies that I really enjoyed like The Witch and 10 Cloverfield Lane, I had problems with the endings just as everyone else did, but everyone else is having a problem with the Annihilation ending. Not everyone, but a couple of people. I don't think I have a problem with it. I think it fit with the story. Yeah, it was definitely weird, but this entire movie, if you think about it, the premise is very strange.
Sometimes sometimes it was cheesy. I don't know. Some of the lines every now and then.
The lines of dialogue from some of the characters, I'll give you that. Some of the moments were a little kind of out of nowhere, and like you said, the cheese, it's in there. You gotta look for it, but hey, it's a sci-fi movie. I mean, it happens.
That's true. While the cast was really good, I thought some of the characters were weak.
Good example, Tessa Thompson was really good in this movie, but I don't think they fleshed out her character as much as they could have, and I feel that way for maybe one or two more super side characters. Yeah, there's good in the third act. Then there's also some strange things in the third act. It's a little bit ambiguous when it comes to some plot points. I think this movie's going to leave a lot of people hanging, and that's definitely a negative because I know for a fact that the audience is not going to respond to this as strongly as maybe me or you, but there are going to be some people that absolutely love the way that this ends, but it ends and it leaves some things open. Honestly, I think those are the best kinds of endings.
I don't know. I still kind of don't get it fully.
No, I don't either.
And I don't like not knowing what's going on.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like not knowing what's going on. You take a movie like The Cloverfield Paradox, and I know you didn't watch that film. Some things happen in that movie that are never explained. Now, Annihilation, some things happen in this movie that are never tied together, that are left open, but throughout the film, things are explained and dialogue is left out there that kind of describes what could potentially happen. Will we ever know if that was the case? No, obviously we won't, but I love the fact that it's so open-ended, but you can take things from the rest of the movie that kind of point out, hey, this could be how we ended up. Madison, we have talked enough. What are you giving Annihilation?
I'm gonna just go ahead and spit it out.
Spit it out!
80.
80? 81?
Don't, you interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
81.
She's going 81. Well, you went one above me. I'm sticking at an 80 right now. It's one of those movies, like I said, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to sit, write down all my notes, and just take days and days. But as an immediate review, after just watching the movie one time, I'm giving this movie an 80%. A very solid sci-fi movie. It has the potential to grow on me, and it has also the potential to get worse the more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Madison, where can the kids find you?
Instagram, and yeah, that's it, Coleslaw6.
Yeah, Coleslaw6, it's right below her. You guys can follow me on the Stardust app, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr.
You don't have Tumblr?
Nope, that was a lie. Don't follow me on Tumblr. Thank you guys so much for watching all of my reviews. Tomorrow I'm watching Game Night and the brand new Netflix movie Mute. Catch all my videos on my channel. You guys are the absolute best, and
we'll catch you later.
Or we'll